Hello darlings, and welcome to another broadcast. I am your favorite mermaid mystic, and I hope that you are having a lovely day, and thank you for joining me today. So the broadcast is going to be all about becoming the mermaid goddesses that we are. I think that I'm onto something. Let me share with you what I'm talking about. As you know, I've started to do videos, and I'll intersperse these videos with loads of mindset work, law of assumption, and manifestation. But I also will be sharing little notions from the Cottage settlement and how I am improving the cottage, or what kind of projects that I'm doing at the cottage, and here at my parents' little cottage as well. Meantime, whilst Jeffrey, Sean and I live here. Also, what I would love for you to remember is that the 3 kittens live in the cottage with me. So they are constantly running amok. And if you hear them, or you hear rumbling, they're not in their little kitten cottage. And it's in the back, it's off of the window. You know how like you could have those particular little swinging doors that go back and forth? Well, my father made one that goes out the window. So they perch up onto this log that my dad, it's like an old worn log, so it's kind of like a little trail, and so the kittens jump up out of the window, because I have a little antique wooden table there, and they jump into this big, it's made of cedar, and it's like a little, it's all open, but it has cedar sides, and it's really quite lovely. And it's off of the back of the cottage, so when they go out of their little window, they've got a little kitten cottage. And so they can look around, at all of the, the stray cats if they come by, or the feral kittens, or, whoever's walking amongst the garden or whatever. So they really love that little kitten cottage, is what I call it, because it's an extension of the cottage, but can, play outside with the little ferns and everything, but they're all safe, so they're not getting mixed amongst the other feral cats that run about. And anyway, I may change that in the future, but anyway, the reason I'm telling you this is because every video I've got to preface, like, the bunnies are caged up, so I never have to worry about the bunnies being, getting into mischief or anything like that, because they usually stay in their little, I don't want the kittens and the rabbits. I just would rather, like, the feral kittens outside, they kind of run from the bunnies when they have their daily constitutional, but in the cottage I don't let the bunnies run amok on the floor, because I just don't want, little droppings and all of that in the cottage. So I leave them in their little house, but then I take them out every day for constitutionals, hopping about, and they really love it. So that seems to work very well, and it tires them out, quite vigorously. The broadcast is something that really surprisingly astonished me. Now, usually, that I am talking about manifestation, and I'm talking about law of assumption. And you know how, like, certain times you'll hear people talk about, oh, you should do things in business, or you should do things that really terrify you, or a bit nervous or anxious. Like, those are the things that you should really lean into. And so this year is all about me leaning into my Sagittarius rising, leaning into that very optimistic assertion in my personality. And I had received so many women reaching out to me when I shared that video with just a snippet of, like, how to manifest in dire circumstances, which was really quite puzzling to me, because I was actually a bit apprehensive to share that video. But you know what it made me think is that we're constantly hearing about things in media. We have an influx of people talking about narcissism and narcissistic behavior and what this kind of thing is. Obviously, I am not a doctor, nor do I play one on television. But and I'm being silly, but take what I say with a pinch of salt, because, you know, entertainment purposes only, because I don't want to be sued or anything of that nature, which I'm not going to be, because, you know what, I manifest that everyone's going to take into account their own inner being, their mermaid inner being guidance system. And you will know what is right for you when you're listening to me, and you will know what is not right for you. So I really believe in the actual person on the other side of the screen, because I know that you have personal divination and personal intuitive nature about your own life. So I trust you fully and completely that you will always make the right decision, and every decision that you make is always the best decision for you. So that's one thing I want to clarify, that I want you to remember that everything and every choice that you make, did you hear that in the background? Every choice that you make in your life is so special and so unique to you, that I want to empower women. I'm not just talking about empowering women. I'm really giving you tactical measures, mermaid mappings, and technical things that you will be able to find your treasure chest. Let me get back to what I was talking about. Now, the thing that surprised me was that, and like I said, we have an influx of many videos and many people talking about this. But what I have always seen is most people talking about from the perspective of being abused by a narcissist. And this to me reads indicative of being a victim in life. Technically, if you want to say that we're a victim of narcissistic behavior and someone's mistreated us, technically, if you want to say that, but I'm not owning that personal belief, nor do I want you to own it. And this is the problem in society, that everyone decides that they're a poor, little, pitiful victim, and there's no way out of your, absolute atrocities. And I absolutely do not adhere to that. Absolutely not. And this is what I feel is a niche that has not been spoken about. And so I therefore take up the reins of saying, you know what? My seahorse reins of saying that I'm going to give a different approach on this. And I'm sure people might have a different of opinion. That's completely subjective. That is your right to do so. Do not come at the comments. Do not say anything, because you will be blocked and deleted. I will not contend with negativity. I will not contend with anyone that is being upsetting or causing any kind of unkindness. It's intolerable here. So you continue to scroll on or find another video that suits you better, because this is not a victim mentality channel. This is also, we are owning and taking back our power as women. And whether you have been in a relationship, you have dealt with parents that are narcissistic, a brother or sister that is narcissistic, an entire family, an entire generation, anyone, I do not care, a husband, a mate, whatever, a best friend, I don't care what it is. We're not victims, and we will choose not to be victims. And this, I'm going to tell you, is the reason. Here is my number one reason for recognizing why. This is how I was able to get out of a narcissistic relationship after so long of being in one and not even knowing at that time what I was into, because it's a trigger word. And even trigger is a word that is used to promote a particular behavior. It's like Pavlov's dog, you know what I mean? And we're not going to contend with that. This is a channel where we are mermaid goddesses, and we are taking back all of the power. No one controls us. No one's getting their foot in and putting it on our neck. They're not doing it. And I'm going to tell you, this is the reason that most people in narcissistic relationships that have been abused is because of this. The fundamental, foundational reason for this, in my subjective opinion, is because, and I've lived it, so don't tell me that I don't have a right to say what I want to, because I'm going to. You can't do anything about it because I've manifested. Your mouth will be shut. You have no control here. So I'm going to tell you that me and all of the people that watch my channel, mostly my focus and my demographic is women and younger gals, okay? Younger lasses. That's not to say that no one else can be a part of this beautiful community, but what I'm telling you is this is the channel that we are empowered. And it's not these beautiful little woke words and these things that all these spiritual gurus, because mostly, and I'm not saying that it's all of them, and you need to use your discernment. Even for me, use your discernment on me, because if I don't resonate with you, that's your inner being saying, I don't resonate with you. And I'm telling you, many of these people that call themselves chosen ones or spiritual gurus are absolutely out to take your money. And I am not going to have it. I'm not going to allow people to get on a free medium and be able to propagate this kind of narrative. I've had it with it. I've had it with it to where they think that they have the absolute. This is the answer to all of your problems. And most of them are sitting on high horses. They have no experience whatsoever in anything they're talking about, but they tell you to take their course and they're going to lead you in the correct decision. And I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm lovely, dear people. You mermaid darlings, okay? Mermaid dear hearts is what I call you, right? You see, is trying to, let me get my crystals out, because you know what? When I'm trying to share something, have you noticed this is the second time and I've stopped the camera? I'm going to leave this in because I want you to recognize how the people that try to shut people down, like me and like you most likely, if you're watching this because it's about narcissism, that there will be, so I've got my crystals here. Let's see what we've got. We've got tourmaline. We've got smoky quartz. We've got tiger eye and a few others. But that's why I keep crystals. You know, when you're using crystals, they're just a tool. Just like anything else, loves. Crystals are just a tool. Tarot cards, just a tool. Everything is just a tool. And when you're using your crystals, okay, I keep them in this little wool, felted wool, little zipper pack. And I usually carrying them in my pocket because you need to keep your crystals. At least they have to stay within 3 foot of you when you are dealing with things like this. So I would recommend finding great crystals because, you know, sometimes you need more than one to solve a separate issue. So you might need several. That's why I've got like 7 in here today, because me doing these videos, I cannot begin to tell you the kind of resistance that I've had. And I'm no longer, like I said, I'm using my Sagittarius rising to blow through that because I'm not having it, absolutely not having it. So what I wanted to get back to was talking about how these spiritual gurus and these people that claim to, like, this is what you do. The narrative for people that are speaking mostly about narcissism, and I'm not saying there's not good, lovely, wonderful doctors and people that are talking about it on the channel. That's not what I'm doing. This is not a bashing session because something works for everyone. Everyone is different, okay? But I think the niche that I have is that coming from escaping or getting out of or exiting a narcissistic relationship, I'm using it as a beneficial tool because we're going to manifest everything. And what this is doing is helping women to become self-empowered. And this is why I promote so highly that you have got to change your subconscious mind. Your belief system has to change. Because if you have a wretched self-concept, just means a very unhealthy one, as I did, it's very difficult to get out of something. It's not impossible, but many women do not have the power or the inner strength to do it. And this is why I'm absolutely not going to cut you any slack, loves. I'm not going to. You know why? Because I love you. When I love someone unconditionally, I will lay out on the concrete. I will take the sword for you. But you have got to be independent of me, independent of everyone around you, and you have to be the one in control. No one is going to come and save you. I've recognized that. No one's coming to save you, loves. You must save yourself. This is your inner being telling you and guiding you and helping you to recognize, you know what, if you're seeing this video, there's a reason why you're seeing this video. You need this video right now in this moment. It's a timeless essence of you needing to hear something. Your spirit resonated with me, and you were meant to hear this, because there's nothing that you can't have. There's nothing you cannot manifest. And I'm here to tell you, I am going to help you to do it, but you are the one. I will assist you, but you are the one that must do the work. No one is going to help you. You are so individual too. What worked for me, what little thing worked for me, may not work for you. That's why I want to give you different avenues. But if you use your guidance system, if you use your mermaid inner being, you will know each way. Spirit will drop in intuitive measures for you each and every day when you're aligned to know there's a reason I'm being pulled over here. There's a reason that I need to do this. There's a reason that I need to do that. Because that would work for you, whereas it may have not worked for me before. You understand? So everyone's so individual, and that's the beautiful thing. But I'm just giving you a map. You can go around 15 times to get to the center point of your treasure chest. Okay? Mine is just a map. You can get to it any way you want. I'm not telling you that you have to go one direct measure. You don't, because it might not be right for you. It might not resonate for you to go A, B, C. You might have to go, the universe might go, you know what? You're resistant to this particular area, or this is more of a struggle with, Susan from Nevada. She might need to go, you know what? I'm going to need to go around G, H, I, and then come back around to A, B, C. If that's making any sense, do you understand? Those are your center points. So what I'm telling you is, everything that you receive is the perfect thing for you to receive. You are going to be led. The problem that other things that I see in media with this narcissism is that I no longer want you to look at it. And I've probably reiterated this, and I'm going to reiterate it again, okay? Is that we're not victims. Do not look at yourself as poor me. This is actually going to elevate you to become the greatest version of yourself. There is a reason you experienced it, and there is a reason you're getting out of it, and there's a reason you're going to share your story, however that is. I don't know, okay? There's a whole nother reason why my son died and was murdered. I'm going to share that story. There's a reason for everything that happens in our lives. So accept it. Except it is the past, okay? You don't have to be a victim in your own story. Stop being a victim in your own story. Why don't you become the hero of your own story? How about that? Become the greatest protagonist that ever walked this earth. And it is possible. Everything is possible. The only thing you have to do is imagine it, and you can become it. And that's why I have a huge other issue with people, and mostly women. This is my demographic. Is that most women in our society now are raised under a religious organization, okay? Christianity, yes, is lovely, but what it has done to women, slaughtered and taken advantage of, and the many things. But you know what? That's all right, because we're strong. We're warriors. We are women of the deep. Once we take over the world, once the mermaids take over the world, it's a whole new earth, because we are back to reclaim the waters of our world. We are the goddess and goddesses, the empress. We are the queens. We are everything. And once we unite together and we have our soul family and our community, there is no stopping this world from changing. It must change, and it will change. It is changing. And the more we come together as women and lifting one another up and not divisive and unkind, we will unify like there has been nothing in this entire world, this entire generation. And one of those steps is taking back your power. If you know what, you're in a dire circumstance right now, you're going to take your power back. I'm going to give you a little example of a story. She was living with her parents, okay? She was living with her parents. And this narrative was that because she was a little, black little you in her family, her parents were going to kick her to the curb because she wasn't playing by the rules. Do you understand? And so they was like, we've had it. You're out. You're out. You're out on your ass, okay? You're out on your ass. She at first started panicking. She began to panic like, oh my God, I don't have anywhere to go. What am I going to do? I'm going to be homeless. What's the worst case scenario? You're going to be homeless. You have nowhere to go. The universe will provide. There is no victim here. There is never anything that anyone can ever do to you, my loves, that you cannot manifest out of. You are a bloody God. Do you understand this? I want you to understand how serious I am, that you are going to take back your power. We're not going with this whole narrative of I'm a Christian and I'm a good girl and I'm this. This is what the problem is that the narrative has been so misconstrued for so long that our grandmummies and our grandfathers and then our mummies and our aunties and all of this have taken these things. Teachers, everyone's being raised in this kind of mentality of, women are less than, or you can't do this, or you have no control because God up in the heavens controls everything and he is a mean God and he is a just God. No, that is wrong. That is absolutely, this is why it's imperative that I'm not meaning to scream at you, loves. That's not what I'm very passionate is all. That we're not listening to that bullshit anymore. It's absolute ludicrous. It's absolute nonsense on stilts, and we're not having it. You have all the power. So what little Scarlet Rose did was she was starting to panic and she was starting to freak out and thinking, I'm going to get boxes, I'm going to pack up, I'm going to move, I'm going to do this. And guess what happened? 3 days later, you know what she did? Took the bull by the horns, and she literally, in her mind, she went in her mind and she manifested, oh no one's kicking me out anywhere. I rule this world. I am a goddess and no one tells me what to do because I am the God of my reality. And you are going to bend. Those parents are going to bend. They will bend. Do you understand? You're a mermaid goddess. What are you talking about? Someone's kicking you out. No one's doing anything to you unless you allow them to do it. And you're not going to allow them to do it. You make the decisions. That doesn't mean you're going to get on your high horse and start screaming and doing all of that. Everything you do with following the golden rule. We're bringing back the golden rule. This is our motto. This is our mission statement. Do unto others as you would have done to you. You are never going to do anything and use your mermaid powers to do ill or unkind to other people. I don't care how much they've been unkind to you. Do you think I would ever do anything unkind or think unkind thoughts to the boy, he was literally a boy, that brutally murdered my son, shot him in the back 3 times at gunpoint, shot him. And I had to see that crime scene where my child bled out in his own home. I suppose, for another day. If you want me to share that story, I would. But I want you to understand, nothing has caused me to be a victim, and nothing will cause you to be a victim. I don't care what you're saying that you're experiencing. You can experience the worst things that are travesties, absolute abhorrent, and there is still nothing. You're not going to rise back up from those waters, from the depths of the ocean, and you are going to take your life in your own hands, and you are going to become something. Don't allow anyone to ever dictate your life. You're never going to allow that to happen. Once you watch this video 10 times if you need to. I don't care how many times you need to watch it, but you are going to stand up, and nothing's going to keep you from becoming the woman that you desire to be. Nothing. Do you understand me? Nothing. And I am so passionate about this that I am tired of people having their voice heard. They get to tell what the story is, and no matter, even if it's lies from the pits of hell, which I don't believe there's hell, obviously. Hell is within your own mind. When you have to go back and watch all the things that you've done in your life, that's why you want the golden rule to stand place. That is your motto. Because let me tell you, darlings, you don't want that karmic debt coming upon you. You don't want to have to keep doing this life over and over again because you have karmic debt. Stop doing that to yourself. Anytime you ever think a terrible thing, revise that shit at the end of the night, like Neville talks about. Revise, revise, revise. And always remember the golden rule. So say, for example, your parents are wanting to kick you out and everything seems dire straight. And I know what that feels like. I know the elevated intensity of that. Let me promise you that I am not talking about anything that I have never experienced myself. I have experienced absolute horrific things in my life. And I'm still telling you that I'm taking joy, following my bliss. I'm the happiest flipping, well-chuffed gal you're ever going to meet. And it's not an illusion. It's not me psyching myself out. I've done all of the internal shadow work. Went to the depths of the ocean in my soul, and I've come out 1 billion times stronger. I knew where I come from. I know my lineage. I know that we are mermaids of the world. That was one of our shows at WikiWatchy, Mermaids of the World. It was called Mermaids of the World. You've got the world by the tail. That was our theme. And so I want you to understand that you always remember the golden rule: do unto others as you would have done to you. And then you go in your mind. If you're having something and it's a dire circumstance, I want you to go in the bathroom if you need to take a break, or take a walk if you are capable of taking a walk. No one can get in your mind. You have the control over your mind, and you have to use your thoughts to control your reality. So what you will do is you will go into your mind and you will say, what do you desire? You have to know exactly what you want. What is it in that moment? You might not need to go, don't think 5 steps ahead. Think in this one moment. What is this one thing that I need relief from? And you show that in your mind, you say, I am free of my parents. And you don't have to do anything terrible or mean. You don't have to cause any kind of harm. You don't do any of that. You're using your mind for this. Your mind, unique imagination, is God. I am is the God of your reality. Your I am is your beautiful human imagination. That is what God is. So all you have to do is think the thought that you want, and you cannot sway from it. You cannot worship 2 gods. That's what the scriptures mean. It doesn't mean worshiping 2 gods like the devil and Jesus. That's not what that means, loves. That's inaccurate, okay? I'm going to give you actually some scriptural knowledge that is, it's on the lines of mysticism and Neville, and talking about Daddy Neville, how much we love him, because this sets you free. You are not bound by anyone. No one. No God. You're not going to burn for eternity. How ridiculous is that? Now, once I look back and think of it, and I'm 50, almost 53, it's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense that these people fed us and we actually believed it. But that's what happens when you start programming people and women and young girls at an early age to believe such silliness. It's absolute nonsense. But listen, don't mean to, beat a dead horse here, but what I'm just trying to drive home to you on your voyage to discovering your true self is that the magnificent power that you hold, that there is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. And I'm telling you that I want you to create a new belief system. And when you can listen with the little headband on your head with the new beliefs, you are going to do that. So I'm going to share that, how you actually do it, in the next video. So look forward to that. And if you like this video, I hope that you'll subscribe, share it with someone if you feel that there is someone in need of it. If not, that's perfectly fine. And give it a like, because it does help the algorithm and other people can see my message. And that's wonderful, because we want to share. This is how we help bring new earth. The mermaid rise again, okay? This is the only way that mermaids will rise again in unification, is that we have to hear the message, and you will know the mermaid call, okay? Only certain people, real mermaids, hear the call. And you're going to hear the harmonious trumpet. You will hear the call, my loves. And I hope that you have a lovely day. And as always, I'm most affably yours until my next swim. Toodle pip, darlings. Cheers.